Alright ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Average Garage again. So as you would have seen in the last episode, we got this thing started. Now, before I continue, let me say I am hoping that the GoPro has decided to fix itself because the audio quality is turning into shit again. Mainly, I don't know, I'm getting glitchiness and I'm getting like the audio drops down a bit and then it'll dart from left to right speaker or mic, whatever you want to say. But yeah, anyways, hopefully it's fixed. So today, first thing I'm going to do is I found out the turbo was pretty much cactus in this thing, which I was really hoping it wasn't, but it turns out it probably is. I'll insert the clip now. So as you've heard, it's not very happy. So what we're going to do is I'm going to pull the oil feed line off the turbo. One, make sure it's not blocked. Two, I'm going to put it in a jar and then we're going to crank it and see if oil squirts into the jar, really. Make sure it's got oil pressure or at least oil feed. And then, yeah, we'll do the same with the return. If it's going into the turbo, we'll check the return, make sure it's coming out and it's doing all the things it should do because it doesn't sound right. I've spoken to a few people about it and a lot of people are saying the turbo's cactus online. However, a turbo specialist said it's very common for these things. It's probably just a little piece of carbon. Obviously, it's not going to get better, but he said it should last about 6 months to 12 months. So hopefully it'll get me through engineering and then I'll probably put a Pulsar turbo on it or something like that. Anyways, let's get into it. Alright, so I've just done a quick trip to, I don't know, a couple of stores really, and picked up some welding supplies and some stainless steel. So now I'm going to start trying to make my own intercooler piping, so let's see how we go. Alright, so just another quick update. I've got 2 silicon adapters now and 2 straight joiners. So these are used to adapt the turbo, which is a 2-inch, to a 2.5 inch, which is what my intercooler piping is going to be. And that one is a 2.75 inch to a 2.5 inch. So again, what the intercooler pipe's going to be. The intercooler outlets themselves, 2.5 inch. Got 6 90-degree bends, one which I've just chopped in half over there and I'm about to weld together. I'm just going to set the welder up. So yeah, I'm going to quickly set the welder up and let's start TIGging. Alright, so the first one is almost completely mocked up. I've got the 4-inch hole that you saw me drill. Obviously it'll get pulled tight, etc. I might even put like a clip or something or a clamp to hold it in place so it doesn't bash around on things. But anyways, there's enough clearance that I'm happy with. But yeah, so that's the first one done. I'm gonna have to get some more material tomorrow to finish the other side, because I've only got one 90-degree bend left, and whatever that angle is, probably a 45. So I'm gonna have to grab some more pipe bends tomorrow. But yeah, first one's pretty much done. I've just got to finish welding it up. Alright, so the first intercooler pipe is completely done. So I saw this trick on, I think, YouTube ages ago. You weld a washer to a pair of vice grips, and then you sort of flatten out the bottom half and then put a little groove in it. And you can actually use that to give yourself a bit of a bead roll. Now, if I used a half decent pair of vice grips, like half decent size pair, then it would have been much easier. But because I use the small ones, I could only get a small bead roll on it. Saves a couple of $100 because the machines to actually do this, or like the little rollers, they are about $500 to $700 from what I saw. If there's a cheap one, please drop it in the comments below. But yeah, that's good enough for now. Like I said, the welds aren't perfect. I'm not a welder by any means. But yeah, some welds turned out really good and some not so good. So, like, that's a half decent section there. But anyways, there's some other bits that I'm not too proud of. But what I'm going to do is probably drop a heap of rocks in here and just try and clean out any of the inside that's that could potentially fall out, because obviously there's oxidization on the underside of the welds and like burrs and stuff. Also, what I'm going to do is when I eventually put them on the car, I'm going to try and get like some mesh for one side, so well, right before the throttle body, so that if there is any crap, it will get caught in the mesh. Obviously it'll be big enough to not inhibit any boost or pressure or flow issues. But yeah, it's people with blowers on burnout cars use them all the time, because people like to drop things down the blower hats because people are dickheads. But anyways, yeah, like I said, I'm going to grab some mesh. I'm going to chuck this on the car for now. But yeah, it will come off. I will clean it all out properly, and I will put some mesh on it. So yeah, first one's done. Now I'm going to get some materials for tomorrow, grab some more bends. I'm going to learn how to lobster back, because I'm going to have to lobster back off the turbo to get the arch. Otherwise, if I just use the 90-degree bends, it's going to hit the bonnet. So I'll learn to do a bit of lobster backing, grab some more gas, because I've already gone through a D-size gas bottle. Yeah, whether I've done something wrong or just wasted it, I'm not sure, but we'll figure it out. Anyways, that's all for now, and yeah, I'll see you again tomorrow. It's finally done. The second one fought me a lot because like I said before, I'm really struggling to cut straight angles or straight lines. But it's all in, it's done, it goes up. I've got some pinch weld with some bubble on it going around each hole, which I'm going to rip them all out again and fill them with sticker as well, just to stop all the panel rusting where I've cut it through. But yeah, as you can see, pipe's done. Got my lobster back there, which turned out not too bad for a very first attempt at lobster backing. Also, no measurements, I think I mentioned before. So that's all guesswork and all by eye. So it worked out okay. Obviously the welds aren't pretty, but yeah, it's my first time on a TIG with stainless, and yeah, I don't know, I think I did pretty good. So it's my car at the end of the day, so yeah, I think they'll be alright. Hopefully they hold together with boost, but we'll see. Now, like I mentioned before, I'm going to rip these both off now. I'm going to clean all the welds up on this side just so they don't oxidize and go all horrible, although they probably already are. Alright guys, so we're just about to finish up the intake pipe. So I picked up this stainless steel barb fitting. Now this is for the intercooler pipe, and I'm just going to pop down to Robbie's and grab some aluminium ones that he's knocked up, because I need some for the actual intake elbow, and they're aluminium. So Robbie's knocked up some aluminium ones because they're really hard to find to be able to buy. Also, I'm on a bit of a time crunch. Ryan's going to weld them in tomorrow, so I can't wait for that. But yeah. Let's chuck this back inside, jump in the car, head to Robbie's. Alright guys, so Ryan's here, we're back in the shed. We're just doing the intake today. He's just tigging up some fittings onto the intake. We've got the alloy piece over here, which we're going to TIG some bungs to, and we've got the stainless intercooler piping that Ryan's currently TIGging. This is to run the diverter valve, or the recirc valve, or blow-off valve, whatever you want to call it, so that it all complies and it's good for engineering. The car is going to be licensed and engineered, so I've got to do everything right. Anyways, let's get into it. Alright guys, so it is done. Ryan finished up a while ago and then we had to go out, so I haven't filmed it yet. But yeah, the blow-off valve, recirc valve, whatever you want to call it, is in there. We've got the bung down here, that's for the breather line, which goes to the top of the rocker cover. So I'm going to run a hose, sort of, I don't know, I'll figure it out, but it'll go up and around, probably the back of the engine, as well as the line for the blow-off valve. So yeah, filter's in there. This has actually secured the filter quite well, like it doesn't move around a lot, apart from the charge pipe obviously. So yeah, and I'm glad I drilled a 4-inch hole down there, because we could still get the cooler pipe through with the bung on it, because yeah, it fits. So that's one more thing done. Once I've plumbed these 2 lines up, put a couple more hose clamps on, it's ready for the dyno. Fill it up with coolant, chuck some diff oil in it, and we can send it off. So hopefully in a couple of days I'll be able to get that sorted, and this thing can go off to the dyno and get run in. So wish me luck. Alright, so you just seen that we've done all the bungs on the intake. Now I do have to drop the fuel tank again, because the commenter did point out that I probably should have used submersible hose. I wasn't sure if the hose that I used was submersible, but turns out it wasn't. So I'm going to pull the fuel tank out again, pull the fuel pump again, and we'll replace the little piece of fuel hose, because I picked some up yesterday. Now I've got to find out where it is. Probably on the back of the car, which is up in the air. So I'll find the hose and then we'll jump into that. Oh, I found it, it's here. Got some in-tank fuel hose, so we're gonna drop the tank and we're gonna get into that. Alright, fuel pump is done, it's back in the car. Didn't want to bore you with it all. So now, moving down on the list, because it's getting ready to go to the dyno, got to put some diff oil in it. Won't worry about the alignment yet. Still questioning what I'm going to do with the turbo. If anybody has any recommendations, please drop it in the comments below. As you've seen, it's pretty much cactus. But I have also been told that it will be good for about 6 to 12 months as it is. Anyways, I've got to check the fuel leak at the filter, because the flare wasn't quite sealing properly. It kept on leaking out. So I spun the filter around. If it still leaks, I'm going to have to re-flare it, but that's a later problem. Adjusting the speedo could probably be done on the dyno. The seal rust repairs will be done after the dyno. Scan codes, that's not really important. And yeah, it's pretty much getting closer. I've got to clean the carpet, whichever one I choose. I'm probably going to go the Fairmont interior and fit the interior up after the dyno has been completed. So that's probably all going to get done after the rust repairs, because they will obviously make a big mess. Anyways, I'm going to leave it here for now, and next time you see this car, we will be at the dyno. So I'll have it run in. I've got a bloke in mind to do it, so hopefully that all pans out well. So thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. But remember, drop down in the comments what you think about the turbo and all the other bullshit. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate everybody's support. I appreciate all the comments as usual. One of them helped me solve a problem before it became a problem. So yeah, thank you very much, guys. We'll see you all in the next episode. Peace, guys.